People might want to tell you following your heart is impractical. But you know what's more impractical? 3 priceless advices that I heard from Steve Jobs that I'm thinking some of you outside there probably will benefit from it. I like to share things that I learn, not only for the benefit of the one I'm pouring the information on, but for the benefit of myself, because it'll stick more into my brain after I've shared it with other people. And these 3 things are very important that I think for anybody in life at any point in their life, I would argue. The third one is a very important and a deep one, so I'm going to keep that one at last. So when you get there, you know that, okay, I really want to know what this is, and then you get to it. And the first one of what I learned from Steve Jobs, watching videos on YouTube and reading about him, is, his saying or his claim that you should follow your heart in whatever you're doing. We all know he dropped out of college, did calligraphy, typography, and all that led him to starting his one of the biggest companies on planet Earth. What does it mean by this? At least, what do we common human beings understand by this? We those who are not entrepreneurs, we are like the average human being. When you say follow your heart, sometimes people confuse following your heart with saying, oh, I'm feeling like, man, I want to do this, and I'm feeling like going to do this thing. Your day-to-day feeling, or your feeling that comes 3 seconds and goes away in the next second, that's not something that you should want to follow. You could have the idea that, oh, I want to go surfing, but you have to work. You have 3 kids and a wife, or you have 3 kids and a husband that you have to take care of. And you'd be like, oh, I'm feeling like I want to surf. That is, and you go surfing. That is not following your heart. That is following something maybe I don't want to say a word for. But this, I think it was very important when Jobs said it. And I thought it's important for everybody to consider doing things that they really believe in. Just listen to yourself and see what do you really want. Don't listen to what the outside people are going to tell you. Because if you listen to people from outside, it's like you putting a mirror, like a broken mirror. That is like, hey, I want to see if I'm looking good in this mirror. The mirror is broken. That is outside, and they are not you, and everybody is different. So what you should do is that listen to yourself and see without anybody's consent, like what I'm doing now. Do I want to do this? Like, is there a meaning behind it? And I know sometimes too, when they say follow your heart, some of us will want to do like things that will make us big and famous and be like the Drake and the Messi and the Ronaldos and the Kardashians. That one, it can happen if that's your thing. But there's a very low chance that you'll get there. And one misconception people have is that they think actually it's not a misconception. Maybe I'm mistaken with this one. But they made a research in Canada and they asked people like what they will want to do or what they're really passionate about. About this passion thing that has raised up for the past 2 decades or so. So they asked a group of people about what they would want to do or what profession they would want. And over 90% of them, they want, they say if they could do anything or what they're passionate about. And over 90% of them were saying, oh, they want to be entertainers, musicians, artists, and they want to be footballers. All the top level people that you've seen, which takes like hundreds and hundreds of hours of practice to get there. Most people wanted to go there, but as we know, as a fact, the chance is very low for everybody to get to that level. So looking at somebody or looking at what society has stated or society has made to be seen as the best thing to do, and you are following that, it doesn't really give so much a reason. And that is not something that is saying like, I'm following your heart. So that is one misconception I think we should clear it out if you are talking about following our heart. Following your heart does not, equate you wanting to do what you do and you wanting to do things just because society says, oh, this is good and this is a good thing for you to have, to be popular or be whatever it is, So that's one thing. We've gotten that aside. Follow your heart. Let your brain follow your heart, your mind follow your heart, and don't mistake it with just taking instant actions when you're extremely happy or you're extremely sad. The number 2 one, and I think it's very important, at least it has applied to me, is being curious. Sometimes you can be too curious, or maybe you've heard about the sayings that curiosity kills the cat. That is true. Like if you're too curious, it can cause something bad. And it's the same with everything, You can drink alcohol and it will happen, but too much alcohol is going to cause some harm. You can have a lot of money and you're doing good things with it. You can have so much money, you don't know what to do, and you start to do bad things with it. So too much of everything is bad, but I will say more than average curiosity is good. And what I've seen with myself so far is, learning to program. I had this belief in my mind of like, oh man, programming is for like geniuses, people who start when they were like 6 years old and whatnot. But guess what? I started about the beginning of last year in 2020. And now I have about 3 programming languages that I know that I can program in. Although not very proficient, I know 3 programming languages now. And all it comes was like me being curious, like, hey, this thing could be like magic. Actually, they say it's comparable to some instances. So I was thinking like, hey, if I know how to program and I can make this computer tell it, no, do this, and then they'll go do it, and it's going to do this. I think there'll be some kind of power. And I'm curious, like how much I can know about something that I can devote myself. It's not magic that is going to like close people's eyes and flip things around, but it is kind of like magic that you make yourself in real time, that you feel like, yes, you've really done something. So that was curiosity that brought me there. And I was like, I want to do this. And even more importantly, it was something of very good value to society, or even say to my community. So being curious, it is very good. Ask questions. Ask like, where is this from? Where is this from? Sometimes your friends might say you to be stupid or being too known, and you want to ask all the questions, or questioning people too much, or being suspicious of things that you shouldn't be suspicious. It's okay. One thing you should know about this is that it is better to ask for forgiveness than, I think this is from Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Work Week. I think, yeah, it is better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. I mean, this doesn't work everywhere. If you try it, you might get fired in your job. But if you want to do things and you think that, oh, this person might say no, or your boss or your father might say this, but there's something, for real that this something might be of very good value. See, like, what is the worst thing this can do? And if it's not too devastating, go do it. And if it doesn't work out, you can ask for forgiveness. I'm sorry. People will not allow you to go do things, if you tell them. Sometimes they won't just allow you for no real reason, but just for emotions. So what you want is that if you know that, or if you tell people, or if you ask people these type of questions, they're going to say, no, don't do it. Or they're going to think you are so stupid. Go do it out of your own curiosity and intuition. And then after that, if it doesn't work, you can come ask for forgiveness. If it works, those same people are probably going to follow you, and they'll be like, yes, you're the most creative person. So that's the 2 there. And the third and final one, which I think is I would say is the most important, because that one will bring you to think about everything and do it like you really should. And that is that you should think about death. Most of us don't want to, right? Sometimes we do, and maybe in a private setting or somewhere you are feeling it in yourself, just knowing that someday you will be history. Someday you will not exist no more. Someday you will have to be having a name, but it's against your name. This person in this family has existed, but he's no more. If you think about that, let me put Steve Jobs' thing first, actually. And Jobs said that if you think about death, it will make you do things that you really believe in, that are meaningful. And that is what is even going to make you do things that are meaningful, that you really care about, than to do things that it gets like feeling based. Thinking about death, he said that when he wakes up every morning, I don't know how long he was doing that, but he said it, that when he wakes up every morning, he asked himself, if today was the last day of his life, would he like to do what he's about to do? And if he had so many no in a row, he knew he had to change something. And it makes sense, right? But something that worries me, I think, is why people don't want to think about it. Or people run away from it when you talk about it. It's hard to think about it, of course, but it is something that we can't run away from. There are things that you can try to do, but it is just something that is inevitable. So if today was the last day of your life, what are you going to do? Are you going to be maybe online playing video games? Are you going to be somewhere partying? Are you going to be trying to do something to, help your family in some way, or help your friends in some way? What do you want to do? So think about it. Those are the 3, and I thought they're very good and worth sharing. If you like it, hey, like the video to help with the YouTube algorithm. And of course, subscribe. See you next time.